Did you know that Senn's Dairy Park used to be a dairy? If not, you should have taken a clue from the name. This park has an interesting history. A lot of longtime Portlanders are nostalgic for the ice cream and eggnog that they used to get from this location and from other Senn's Dairy drive-throughs around the city. But this particular location had a controversial relationship with the neighborhood around it. In 1957, Walter Senn purchased an abandoned dairy in Parkrose. After finding success at this location, Senn began expanding, opening a total of 7 drive-in dairies in the metropolitan area. To this day, people still reminisce about their eggnog, ice cream, fudgesicles, and their particularly rich 2% milk. But those who lived around the dairy in Parkrose were less thrilled. The noise from refrigeration and idling diesel trucks was a major nuisance. Things only got worse when Senn expanded the site without getting permits. Neighbors held protests and filed complaints. In the 1980s, Portland annexed Parkrose, and even in the documents that laid out the Cully and Parkrose community design guidelines, the Senn Dairy property is called out as having zoning issues. The dairy was operating in the middle of a low-density residential neighborhood, and frustrated neighbors wanted it gone. In March 1986, while these debates were ongoing, Walter Senn passed away. His sons planned to take over the business, but they immediately fell into problems. The IRS put a lien on the property, and by 1989, they filed for liquidation in federal bankruptcy court. Right before that moment, the company had discovered that a 1,000-gallon gasoline tank underground had been leaking, contaminating the soil at least 17 feet down. By 1995, Multnomah County had seized the property, and the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality had declared it a brownfield. Even so, in 1998, volunteers and neighbors began campaigning to turn the site into a park. You have to understand, Parkrose did not have any parks. Even now, it continues to have a serious deficiency in green spaces. But brownfields have a tendency to be handled like hot potatoes, with no one, whether companies or government agencies, wanting to take responsibility for the expensive remediation, let alone assume liability for whatever impact the contamination might have in the future. 2000, after careful negotiations with the DEQ, Portland Parks had agreed to take on the site, but it would take years of remediation, many volunteer hours from community leaders, school children and neighbors, donations from local nurseries, and far more before the park was finally dedicated in 2009, 20 years after the dairy shut down. This was a hard-won park for a neighborhood that really needed it, and it was the first official park and community garden in Parkrose, one of the most diverse neighborhoods in Portland. Senn's Dairy Park is located at Northeast 112th and Prescott, and it's worth visiting.